Hello my beautiful hammerheads and welcome back to another Black Library review. Christmas is coming in the 40k universe. And this, I mean literally. Because in the book, Walls of Terra, the Carrion Throne, written by Wraight, it is basically really a Christmas story. It's not Die Hard, one of the best Christmas movies ever, but close. This book was in my peripheral vision for a long time, and I just thought, oh, it's Inquisition and the Custodes on the cover, so I don't know. But with the last book I've read, which was Bloodlines, and a crime story, which really isn't my kind of story, but Wraight just made it better for me. And so I thought, okay, let's give it a try. And I was not disappointed. So this story is 1 week before Christmas, or in the in-universe terminology, Sanguinalia, because of course we have the Primarchs who we venerate, and Sanguinius, of course, is, well, his legion is clad in red armor suits. Santa is in a red suit, so it kind of makes sense. Okay, jokes aside, Sanguinius, as a holy person like the other loyalist Primarchs, is being venerated with a big feast on this day. It's the Red Feast, which is kind of scary. And so for 1 day, everything not really stops, but many people gather at the Imperial Palace for this feast to witness it. But only the richest and the most powerful people can really see the feast, so the rest is basically like, oh, I was near the palace. But of course, stuff has to go sideways. Of course, otherwise we wouldn't be here. We follow the story of the Inquisitor Erasmus Crowell from the Order Hereticus, and he has a new acolyte, which is awesome. She has a Crucius Arcanum, which was gifted to her by an Imperial Fist chaplain, because he was so impressed with her that he said, here, take this, it's yours now, make me proud. So I don't want to go too deep into the story, because it builds up really well. The pacing is good. There was one point in which my mind just wandered a little bit. That's fine, because the amount of information stuffed into this book on how Terra works, how the Custodes perceive humanity, how the Inquisition perceives humanity, how humanity perceives both. Well, it isn't really that into detail, because we already have these things in other publications of the Black Library, but there are some things which I really enjoyed. One of which is that Erasmus is talking to his acolyte and says, okay, we can't do this and make people afraid of us. They're already afraid of us, Xenos, and their neighbors. They live in constant anxiety, so we need other methods, because he wants to teach her. And then somewhere down the line in the book, they meet one of their antagonists, and he also says, we down here, in comparison to you guys in the upper hives, we live in constant fear. We fear our neighbors, we fear Xenos, and we fear you. So there's also again this strengthening of the fact that regular people are afraid. But it's not only that, it's the information which you can get of not only the people on how Inquisitors and other higher authorities of the Adeptus Terra, who work regularly with the regular people, can see where a person comes from, which hive they're coming from, based on their skin tone, because some of them never see the sun, on what their probable nutrition is, and so on and so on. This is also very fascinating, because there is also again fascinating. Terra, of course, is a consuming planet. Nothing is being traded. Everything just comes and empty ships leave. And even then, people are starving because it's just too much for too little stuff to get in. And so these tidbits really held me onto the story until it ramped up with the Custodes and with the understatement of the millennium, in which he says, I have many names, just call me blah blah blah. And was like, was that a joke? I don't know. For me it was very funny. So I enjoyed this part, and the Custodes character is amazing. At one point they're standing in front of the Eternity Gate because the fear, or rather the quest in this book is that there is something on Terra who wants to breach the Eternity Gate. You know, the thing which Sanguinius defeated Angron and Kabanda in the Horus Heresy in front of? Yeah, and someone found a way to go into the palace. And so the Custodes is basically like, okay, let me show you something, Erasmus. And they're standing in front of the Eternity Gate, and Erasmus is just like, this is too much. I can't stand here. The pressure of the psychic might of the Emperor is just too much. Many of the natural disasters, let me call it like this, it's not really a disaster, it's weather patterns written off as, oh yeah, the air is toxic, it's the industry on Terra. No, it's the psychic pressure of the Emperor who is doing the freaky weather stuff. Erasmus is just like, how can you stand this? Have you ever been in the throne room? And our Custodes is just like, yeah, I've been there. But how can you stand in his presence? Isn't this too much? Because the Custodes is just like, the real question is, how can you live without it? That was kinda deep. Maybe I'm interpreting more into it than it was planned by Mr. Wraight, but for me this really struck home a little bit, and it makes Guilliman in the Dark Imperium trilogy, it makes him more awesome. Yeah, there is so much stuff, not only that I don't want to spoil the real enemy, so I'm talking a little bit of the other stuff. Is the Primarchs are depicted as there are only 9 Primarchs. They saved the Imperium 10,000 years ago because the evil chaos shenanigan demons, gods, made 9 devils. The father, they are going down in the palace and the architecture changes, and Erasmus sees depictions of 20 Primarchs and he's just like, why are there 20? That not even an Inquisitor who lives on Terra, who works on Terra, knows that there were more than 9 Primarchs. This is one of the books in which the more you know about prequels, let me call it like this, so I mean the Horus Heresy, the books that came before, when you know the artworks of Terra, this is a book for veterans, in my mind. This is not for newcomers. Maybe I'm seeing this as someone who has been in the hobby for almost 2 decades now and who has seen many things in the hobby. These parts were basically in my mind before they were described. Maybe there is already the curse of knowledge there. But would a newcomer have fun with this? I say yes. However, as I've said, a veteran would have more fun with this. I don't know if this was the right sentence. I hope you know what I mean. And this whole book for me is just, again, the curse of Black Library. That I don't like to paint Custodes, but I wanted to paint the Custodes. But yeah, there isn't much more to say because the majority of the book is fantastic and interesting tidbits about Terra, about the Inquisition, about the Custodes, about the inner workings of the palace, and so much that I can't really tell you everything. This is one of the books you have to read to believe it, and I just really hope that this is going to be a bigger series. I know that there is an audio drama and a second book, which I will both listen to. Now I'm fully in, but yeah, I hope there will be more. So all in all, for me, this is 9 out of 10 loyalist Primarchs fighting against 9 out of 10 traitor Primarchs. This is so fitting. But what do you think about Walls of Terra, the Carrion Throne? Please leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section down below. I am keen to know what you have to say. And while you're down there, do all the YouTube stuff, because hitting buttons is fun. If you want to support the channel and you don't know what to say, just write Terra in the comments. Have a great day, my friend. Stay fantastic. Stay hydrated. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!